Hey, hey, hey. All right. Today, I want to get into something that I really think is a huge reason that so many women feel stuck right now, for lack of a better way of saying it. Even though you're trying really hard to do all the things right, you're stuck. And it's this. It's not that you're bad at prioritizing. It's that you're prioritizing for a life that just doesn't actually fit you anymore. And that's costing you way more than you realize. And if you're in perimenopause or menopause, or even just starting to feel that shift in your body, in your mind, in your energy, you know what I mean, right? Because it's not just this hormonal shift that we hear about all the time, it's a whole identity shift. And if you're still trying to live by the rules of who you used to be while this is going on, it's going to feel like you're fighting yourself every single day. So today, what I want to do is I want to show you why that happens and what it's really costing you and how you can start rewriting your priorities so they actually fit the woman you're becoming, not the woman you used to be. Quick interruption to this podcast episode. If you've been listening and thinking, okay, it's time, I need to do something different, then I want to personally invite you to join me for my next 3-day metabolic kickstart. It is a free, yes, I said free, it's a free 3-day event, more like an experience, actually, where I give you a plan to follow for 3 days. And across those 3 days, I teach you what's actually keeping your metabolism stuck and what you can do instead. So here's the thing: 3 days, free plan, free coaching, all the information you need to build on the momentum to actually make metabolic change so you can reach your long-term goals. I mean, what is not to like about that? All you have to do is grab your spot in the next Kickstart with the link that's in the show notes right below this episode. So if you're tired of starting over, look, I get it. If you're ready to feel like your body is finally working for you, I get it. Do this 3-day Kickstart with me. You won't regret it. So let's get into it. Okay. So first of all, I want to call this out. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're weak. It's not that you're unfocused. It's not that you can't stick to anything. And I'm quite frankly sick and freaking tired of hearing that kind of talk all over. It's all over podcast episodes. It's all over social media. It's all over the internet. There's this idea that and they'll say it in a nicer way than, oh, you're just being lazy or you're being weak. They'll say you're not prioritizing. Everybody has the same amount of time. Everybody this, that, and the other. So I want to call it out. It is not, excuse me, it's not those things. So if you've been feeling that way, if you've been feeling like there's something wrong with you, hear me loud and clear. There is nothing wrong with you. And this is not about being because there's something wrong with you. It's because you're still trying to prioritize your life based on this blueprint that doesn't fit your life anymore, based on this outline that doesn't fit who you are anymore. Priorities are stories. Write that down. Priorities are stories. They're stories that we tell ourselves about what matters most. And so maybe it used to sound like I have to be successful. I have to be needed. I have to prove that I can do it all. And I mean, I know quite literally you don't say it that way, but those are the stories that served you back then. They served you for a while in that stage of life when you were career building. I had the story, I have to be successful. When you are raising your family, I have to be needed and fulfill that need as a mom. So those stories and those priorities served you then, right? But here's the truth: when your life changes, your body changes, your energy changes, your hormones shift, when your mind starts to wake up to new and different things, those old stories, they stop fitting. And if you don't update the story, then you end up fighting yourself because you're trying to live up to a version of success, a version of health, a version of being enough, a version of whatever that was in the past. And it doesn't match the woman you're becoming at this stage in life. Now, how the freak do I know this? Because I lived it. For years, my priorities were built around achievement, achieving in my career, title, status, that growth and promotion and achievement. I pushed to have until I got to the vice president title, until I hit the six-figure salary, and then it was push beyond that. I did it. I had the quote unquote success. And from the outside, it looked like I had arrived, okay? But on the inside, I was drowning and I knew it. And when I started really feeling the struggle even more was when I moved into this transitional stage of life. My health was struggling, my energy was gone. My life felt like it was shrinking instead of expanding. And I realized that I was still prioritizing in a way and for a life that really no longer fit me. And it wasn't like I just had this aha moment, like a light bulb didn't just go off in my head. It took time for me to get here. But the first step I took before I ever left that career that I had pushed so hard to get was I started by taking my health back. I started by treating my body differently, by treating time in my life differently. I started asking questions of myself, things like, what actually matters to me now, right? And what I realized was once I started prioritizing my health and my energy, and overall, I would say I started prioritizing my peace. Everything else began to shift. My career, the impact, the freedom that I had. But it started with me stopping the lie that I just needed to be more disciplined or living in a life that I was trying to force myself to live in and be happy in. And it was a life I didn't even really want anymore. And this is why perimenopause and menopause is such a huge transition. It's such a pivotal point in our lives because it's not just your body that's changing. It's actually, it's your whole identity that is shifting. Your body is not abandoning you, it's inviting you to step into a new season. But if your priorities stay the same, if you keep trying to live like that woman you were when you were 25 or 35 or even 40, you end up in this constant conflict. Your body knows you're evolving, but your mind is still trying to like play this same old game of who you were. And that's really at the root of why everything feels so hard. You're not just tired in the sense of like, oh, I'm tired. No, you're tired of trying to be who you used to be in a body and a life that's really made for something a lot more than that. And so the pain that you're feeling, the exhaustion, the frustration, that stuckness, it's not just physical. It's not just hormones being imbalanced. It's not just aging. It is an identity crisis that no one prepares us for. No one. You're still trying to like squeeze yourself into these priorities that belong to a woman that just doesn't exist. Not anymore, she doesn't. You're trying to diet like you did in your 20s, for example. You're trying to hustle like you have no other responsibilities. You're trying to prove yourself. You're trying to live by standards that don't fit your life now. And so, of course, it's going to feel like you're losing the battle, like you're playing a game that you've outgrown the rules for. And no one told you that you're actually allowed to write new rules for yourself. So if you take one thing from this episode, let it be this, okay? Let it be this. Are you ready? Stop asking yourself, how do I manage my life better? And start asking yourself, is this even the life I still want? Is this even the life I still want? Because managing your time, your health, your energy, it only matters if you're building a life that actually feels right to you. And for most women, especially in this midlife stage of life, that means giving yourself permission to choose again, to choose differently, to prioritize your health, to prioritize your energy, to prioritize your joy, and ultimately to prioritize your peace. That is not selfish. That is survival. And once you start doing it, once you feel stronger, clearer, more alive, you'll stop asking things like, where's my motivation? Because you're going to be building a life that you actually want to show up for. So if you've been feeling like I'm describing, if you're feeling that like stuck, kind of tugged in a million directions, or just exhausted, fatigued from trying to just keep up with life, and it doesn't feel like you're doing it for you anymore, what I want you to hear is that you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just evolving in a very natural way, in a way that needs to happen. And it's an evolution that means it's time to change the story, change the priorities. It's time to prioritize the woman you're becoming, not the woman you were. So you're allowed to choose differently. You're allowed to let go of that old story. You're allowed to build a life that actually fits you, the you at this stage, the you you're becoming, a you that you want to be, a you that you want to be. That's what this whole menopause, perimenopause, menopausal stage of life is about. It's about actually finally having the freedom to be the you that you want to be. It's your time. It's your time. Thanks for hanging out with me today. You know, I always say it, but it's always true. I so appreciate that you're here with me, and I'll see you right back here next time.